Hello and welcome back to the Earthy Goodness Kitchen. Today we're creating some delicious red lentil and sweet potato kebabs. They're crispy on the outside, soft in the center, and they've got some lovely spices going through them. So let's get cooking. To start this recipe, I've got one sweet potato, which I've given a good scrub and removed any of the tougher bits. I'm leaving the skin on as it's got good nutrients and fiber in there, and we're just going to grate it so that it cooks nice and quickly. Heat a medium frying pan over a medium-high heat, and we're going to add a tablespoon of olive oil, followed by the sweet potato, and we're just going to fry it down for about 5 to 8 minutes. This is to give it a little bit of colour, but also remove most of the moisture, or else the kebabs will be too wet. Season it well with salt and pepper, and then when it's nearly done, we're going to add some spices, starting with some curry powder and kashmiri chili powder, and then a little bit of garam masala. I like to add a little bit of oil with the spices just to help them fry and release their lovely aromas. Then we're going to cook it for about a minute, and then we'll remove the sweet potato into a large bowl. Now we'll start the main lentil mix. I've soaked these red lentils for about an hour so they're nice and plump and soft, but half an hour would work fine as well. Or you can do it the day before and just leave it in the fridge overnight. Drain and rinse them and then add them to the food processor. We're then going to add a good amount of ginger and garlic. Then to give the kebabs a lovely fresh herby flavour, we're going to add some coriander, parsley and mint. You don't have to use all three herbs, but they do work really well together. Then some walnuts to help soak up any excess moisture, and some hemp seeds. Both of these provide some really healthy fats to this dish. Then some fenugreek leaves, which have an earthy, sweet, almost smoky flavour, and some baking powder, which give the kebabs a lovely light texture. I'm also going to add the juice of a lime, or at least I thought it was a lime, turned out it was a lemon, but that will do perfectly as well. Just using a sieve here to catch any seeds, and then we're going to season the mix with some salt and pepper. I always like to use flaky salt. It's much less harsh than the sort of fine powder you get, where I find it's really easy to over season things. Now just blend until finely ground. We want this to be well blended, but not so much that it turns into a paste. If you underblend it though, the kebabs will be crumbly, and you also don't want that. You will need to scrape down the sides at least a few times during the process, just to ensure everything is well blended. This is the sort of texture you're looking for. It will be slightly moist but not wet, and it should be easily sort of moldable like this. Simply add your lentils to the cooked sweet potato, and we're going to mix it through thoroughly so that everything's well combined. Then to shape them, I either like to add a little oil or water to my hands, and this helps prevent the mix from sticking. You can shape them however you like. You could make ovals or little sausage-like shapes or small patties. I just like to make sure they're not too thick, or else the middle won't be cooked. This recipe will make about 16 to 20 kebabs depending on the size that you make them. When flavouring these kebabs, you don't have to go down the sort of Indian spice route. You could make them Moroccan spiced, or you could do like some Italian herbs, you could do Mexican spices. It's totally up to you. You've now got the option of either frying or baking them. To fry them, we're going to preheat a frying pan to medium and add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You want the oil to be hot enough to ensure the kebabs fry and don't just soak up the oil and become really soggy. So if they don't sizzle when you put them in, just take them out. The oil isn't hot enough. You also don't want the oil to be like smoking hot, as they're going to burn really easily. You can check them every now and again just to make sure they're not getting too brown, and then once they've been cooking for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side, remove them onto kitchen roll or a tea towel, and this is going to help soak up any of the excess oil. I like to add a little sprinkle of sea salt on at the end, and as you can see, they're perfectly crunchy, and they've got a lovely rustic texture full of goodness inside. Then all you have to do is cook the rest. You can also bake or air fry them. I tend to bake them at about 220 degrees for around 15 to 20 minutes, or you can air fry them at 180 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes. You can bake them without oil, or you can brush a little bit of oil on them to get them nice and crunchy. Wow. These are so good. Crunchy outside, soft creamy center, and it just really packs a punch of flavour. I think these would work really well as a veggie burger option as well. I could easily just eat a whole plate of these right now, to be honest. So here are the baked ones. They came out pretty good, nice and crispy, maybe slightly drier than the fried ones, but really pretty damn good. To go with these kebabs, I'm making a quick quinoa salad, and then a really tasty mint sauce. For the quinoa, I like to use 1 part of quinoa to 1 3/4 parts vegetable stock, plus a little bit of turmeric for that lovely golden colour. And then 5 minutes into the cooking, I'm going to add in some kale, place the lid back on top, and cook it for a further 10 minutes. And then towards the end of the cooking, I'm just going to throw in some frozen peas and sweet corn, and they can just cook for an extra minute. Then remove the lid, place a tea towel on top, and you can just let your quinoa steam and finish off cooking. For some extra crunch and freshness, I'm going to add some peppers, simply diced like so. And then just stir them through the quinoa, and that's going to be a really nice side dish for these kebabs. And we're going to finish off this dish with a really quick minty yogurt. To the blender, we're going to add some vegan yogurt, ideally a thick Greek style one. Then we're going to add our herbs, which is going to be mint and coriander, followed by some cumin, some garam masala, and the juice of 1 lime. To balance the acidity of the lime and the yogurt, I'm just going to add a little squeeze of agave, and then we're going to season it with salt and pepper. I'm also adding a couple of ice cubes, although in hindsight I probably would have added just 1, as it did make the sauce slightly runnier than I would have liked. The ice cubes are going to stop the heat of the blender from dulling that vibrant colour of the herbs. Then you're ready to serve up. These are great in a pita bread, on a salad bowl, or simply dipped into that vibrant mint sauce. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to check out this one for some more plant-based goodness, and I'll see you in a video very soon. Bye bye.